It's another day, and I got some Amazon stuff and some eBay parts. These are eBay parts for repair. Some transistors and some chips. So I made sure I got my exchange. Well, I bought them and I haven't sent the other ones back. These are 90-degree HDMIs. I need to see if this fits before I screw it into my purple dude thing. It should. And I also got an Ethernet extender, which I'll show you in a second. Old Amazon's got all sorts of stuff. You can't find this crap in stores, but oh, this will work the right way, so check it out. The idea is I want to put a heatsink on here. So I needed that out of the way. So this gets it out of the way. I'm going to go right here. It's going to be some kind of ugly. Maybe I can tuck it around the card even. Maybe I can go behind the strimer. And behind the fail cable. I know this is an old build. I know I already did this video. I'm just doing some upgrades, okay? So these are the ones that it came with. They were for the original case. And they should stick in here. That's what I should use. I should just use all these where I can, but they don't fit. I can't get a screw in them because it's got the clampy thing. It's got the little grippy dude. See that little nipple? So there, I can't use them. They don't fit. This piece isn't even from this case. I don't know where the one that was on the original metal plate went. That would have been the ideal solution, and even if I could trim that piece off, the screw still doesn't line up. So this is freaking just so useless. It's not funny. It sucks. They're nice covers too. Let me put them back. The Ethernet is here, and I had to have it on an angle so it goes down to stay away from the heatsink. So I 3D printed this thing, and it's like 40 minutes later, and it's like 1.5 mil, and it's still like it's too wafer ass thin. In the meantime, I put another hole in this thing you can't see and ran another string, one of these little purple wires, because there's no support for this damn riser card. 10:15 p.m. and I've been working 3D printing for hours. And I got like the Ethernet and the thing mounted and 3D printed and cables ran. And then I put it in, and then it's in the stupid video slot. And I gotta move everything one up. The next night, I fatten these bad boys up. I don't know how many millimeters, but thick girls. They're a lot more sturdier than this Rubbermaid limp piece of crap. So I managed to tape my HDMI and Ethernet, and the Ethernet, I have it perfectly sitting in there so it clicks, and you can get to the little tab and get it out. It's kind of a little bit on an angle. I don't care. And then I also cut the bottom off too, because again, I printed it too big, and I need a place for the tape to go, because this back plate just sucks. Doesn't work for shit, so it's upside down anyway. And I'll tape these in, and from that side it'll look really good, but from this side it looks like dookie. I did it. A little bit offset, but you know, that's how it printed. Taped the living crap out of it in the back, each individual piece, and then covered it all with a piece of tape, so it's not going anywhere. And it just sits there because it doesn't fit anything. Then these bolts go in, because that's how it was made. Make sure you knock your bolt right on the floor. Not bad, huh? Not bad. There's a little bit of pull right here because of this wire. It's bending the card. So I added another one on this side. And it's also supported by the thing. It's just called floral wire, and it's purple. That's it. I got it. We got ports, and I left one open for speed because the freaking, don't even get me started. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, because the case is so awesome, I have to tape the mount thing until I 3D print one. just so it stays. And that's the stupidest thing ever. There. That gives me the rigidity to unplug and plug stuff, even though it's just total ass, but it works. Now it's not airtight because you got a big gap right here, because, again, perfection. Alright, we're going to put the lid on it because that means it won't work. Out, I also rubber mounted Dr. Chris to the thing so he stays in one position and doesn't graze what's left of his little bit of hair on the fan. Well, it'd be nice if sound came out HDMI, but it don't. Now, finally, after 8 hours and 56 minutes of work, my HDMI's where I gotta fish my Ethernet back in there and tie everything back up again and then have it not work. Let's check Eagle. I think I quadruple clicked. I unplugged it, so plug audio back in. There's the Amiga up. Now let's go right to it. Oops, ZZ Top, sorry. We're going to go boot. We're going to go real CPU, 100 megahertz, apply boot mode, and it should start all over again while I put the screw in. Screw in, lid down, guru. Oh, I guru when I switch CPU modes. I think I'm supposed to power off. I really do. I think I'm supposed to like power it off and then power back on. 101 megahertz, real 060, 101 megahertz, 4000, 60, a bunch of stuff, and 480 megs of RAM, and goodness. Look at this. Look at the fan. It's a little bit ahead, but check that out. It's just starting. I didn't plan this. Let me turn this down. It's almost at the same part on the fan. I'll zoom in a little bit. I think the fan's running a little slow. Yeah, they're almost perfectly in sync right now. Look at that. Almost. Almost. That's about half a frame behind. Still cool. The Witch Amiga Extended Edition by Wrangler, written originally by Harry Sintonen, and Wrangler extended it in 2022. So thank you, Wrangler. Your brain is awesome. From the future, I've put the new Z3660 firmware on, and I just plugged it into Ethernet, and it's got all these wild options when you hold the C key down while you're booting. And you can also run the ZZ Top or Z Top from the power on. Amiga's just doing nothing. It's downloading the new firmware like over the interwebs. So I downloaded the boot and I told it to download the latest boot and overwrite failsafe.bin. Now I'm going to copy failsafe.bin to boot. So I'm going to hit K. Let's copy and failsafe.bin to the boot. And it'll be on firmware 11, and I can hit number I in a second. So we'll hit I, and it says getting version info, and it tells me I have the latest boot is 11. I'm currently loaded on beta 10, or 103 beta 10. I have the latest SCSI and the latest SCSI ROM. So now I'm just going to reboot in 1 second. Now this should, I don't know what it's going to do. It's going to work, or it's going to, there's the reset, and look, you get these little dudes. So, no JIT, CPU frequencies of megahertz, holding Z at power on. That's what it said. Oh, sweet, look at that. Much better. Okay, so boot, real 060 at 100 megahertz. Burned myself a copy of Pink Floyd The Wall in 1979. I combined both CDs into one. So what happens is I couldn't run demos. Certain demos wouldn't run. So I'm like, fine, I'll flip it to the real 060 and we'll run off the Z-turn for whatever and flip it back and forth. And everything was cool. So I'm real 060, 50 megahertz. Does it run freaking 9 fingers? Spaceballs, 9 fingers, 9 fingers. Should be right here. Should work. I should get sound and everything. But guess what? I haven't updated my WHD load. Let's see. It just sticks here. Does it ever come? Like me? Nope. A lot of times in this video is just me staring at the screen, watching these little lights right here, hoping I'm going to see something flicker underneath of this in a second because it's RTG and thinking about it. Come on there. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Anyway, right here is a light. And there it goes. And then in a second, I'll get a video signal. Sometimes I'll get a mouse. Not today. Not this boot. It's 11 p.m. Hashtag Amiga Life. I've spent all evening to get back to where I was before I started. This all started out because I couldn't run 9 fingers. Guess what? Rebuilt the whole damn thing. Still can't run 9 fingers. It's this Z-turn. Doesn't like it. I'm going to do one final thing. I'm going to switch ZZ Top to boot the actual real 060 card at 50 megahertz. Apply. Let's see what happens after this. It'll probably freak out and I have to reboot it 18 times. But who knows? There's the reboot. RTG is not set up because I haven't got there yet. The floppy drive doesn't work with this because the keyboard buffer overloads. So I can't copy anything. So I had to remove the card, put it in this machine, WinUAE my hard drive, secondary hard drive, back to this, configure the card to have all my stuff, install the RTG system, install P96, install networking SMB mounter to get on my network, then I can Opus and stuff to get that going.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You've been there too. I'm here doing it for you so you don't have to. There's 11 fans blowing all over the place. It shouldn't be hot. 3 here, 3 there, 3 there, 1 there, 1 there. I don't know. Look, I feel like Pi Amiga all over again. Getting every little thing to work just to like take spaghetti, and that's how it works. You pull a noodle out, you have all these issues. That's what we remember about the Amiga. That's what it is. You enjoyed somehow ruining your Friday night. I don't know. Oh God, I gotta do RTG when I'm tired. And now my kid needs me to order movie tickets where I gotta drive 84 miles to go to the movies tomorrow when a movie I don't want to see. I've had 9 hours of sleep all week. We can go for a couple more. 1:47 p.m. the next day, and I finally got this move back. I made a copy of the image before I put Picasso on there. This is an 800 by 600. Haven't put my clouds thing on yet. I have a mouse. This is 1.03 beta 3. 1.03 beta 3. Okay? Off. I unplugged my Raspberry Pi because I was murdering the Windows install on it by off and on. Alright, so 1.03, I have a mouse. Or it's just random enough where it works. I nuked my entire Picasso 96 install and I manually made each screen mode myself. I only did 640 by 480, 800 by 600. Anyway, it's working. Now I gotta put all my junk back on. Chance you fixed the link that was broken on the wiki. The hardware and software installs were broken. So I found another bug today. My external disk drive won't work. When plugged in, the keyboard is off by 2 keys, meaning if I press key 3, or number 3, number 1 appears. Number 4 does nothing, 5 becomes 2, 6 does nothing, 7 is 3, etc. And then it freaks out with that Z across the screen, and if I unplug the external floppy, it works. Reverting back to a 3640, it works. Lovey W. Wagon says, "You, sir, are cursed." I said, indeed. I went back to 103, same thing. Chancey says, maybe it's a 3660 bug when reading the CIAs. I swapped the HDF back to the stock one, which is this. Same thing. And then a link. Now, there was a CPLD firmware update in the 103 beta 10 firmware. This is just working. So I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna slide this up to 100 megahertz and reboot it in UAE JIT EMU. Apply boot mode. Here's another bug. This will glitch out and either endlessly reboot or guru, and then I'll click and I'll have a no boot device. And I have to turn it off, turn it on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. We'll see. If it works, that's great. Usually switching a boot mode from CPU to regular. There it is. So let's see. Do I get a... That's what I get. And then I just triple finger and it'll boot loop. And you'll keep seeing the firmware. I have to turn it off and turn it back on. Okay, so on this little Eye of Sauron, red is the thingamabobber, the whatever it's called, and blue is the physical processor. So when you see red, there's a little red dot. That means the CPLD is being used for something. Blue, it's using the physical processor, and that's not to be confused with the blue light there. And those two green ones are something to do with the cores. It's weird, but it's up. Hold on. But it's booted real low 60 CPU. So if I type CPU PU 60 to 60 Superscalar Rev 6. She's all back together. I got some new animations on there. Starstruck, the juggler, the boing ball, the fried chicken, the disc logo, and the Dr. Chris and the Great Restoration. Along with the model Dr. Chris. Streamer's running, everything's running. We're back to RTG where we were before we started. And I learned a little bit more about this device. Now yes, I do have the ViewSonic that I was kindly gifted, and I have to move all that around still. But I've just been having little problems. I haven't secured the daughter board again. There's little things I have to do. So I'm not done with this, but I think I'm done boring you enough. So thank you for coming along on this weird journey of how to get back to where you were before you started. Hashtag Amiga Life. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something.
Yo, it's Big Snoop D.O. Double Gizzle. Just a friendly reminder. Subscribe to this boy right here. Help save them Amigas. Join the Patreon and help this man keep on saving these machines.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?